Thank you, Megan. Welcome again to the first edition of BS Sports and our first ever Fantasy Fast Break. I'm Christian Walker, and alongside of me is Andrew Boydston. You might consider us rookies to TV since this is our first time in front of the camera, so it only seems appropriate to cover rookies of the NFL and whether or not they're for real. So they're either going to get thrown a bone or put up in the doghouse. Let's see what we got going on. First on my board, I got Jahvid Best. This is the rookie running back for the Detroit Lions out of Cal. This guy is explosive. He's got 2 touchdowns in each of his first 2 NFL games, which is unheard of. There's a little bit of injury concern. You got to watch out for his bum toe, but I don't think that that's going to be an issue. He's got such big upside to make big plays, and for fantasy, that's huge. So definitely throwing this guy a bone,
Definitely.
And he is the best thing to happen to Detroit's backfield since Barry Sanders.
Up next, we got the newcomer Dexter McCluster. He's for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's also a wide receiver and a special teams guru. He ran back the longest punt return in Arrowhead Stadium history for 94 yards. Definitely going to throw him a bone. He's been a sleeper ever since I first started doing fantasy football this year. Definitely throwing him a bone.
Nice, I agree with that one. Next up on my list, we got Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford's a little bit more difficult. You know, he plays for the Rams. He hasn't really put up mind-blasting numbers so far this year, but if you look at the game film, he's real comfortable in the pocket. He really manages the team. I really think he has a chance to do well if the Rams can pull together a team. They play the Lions this week, and then in the next 5 games after that, they play Tampa Bay, Carolina, and the 49ers. Those are all going to be guaranteed points for Bradford. Not sure if he's really worth $50 million guaranteed, but I'm definitely throwing him a bone.
Up next, we got Jimmy Clausen, the quarterback out of Notre Dame. He's playing for the Carolina Panthers. Only problem I have with him, he was said to be the most elite quarterback coming out of the 2006 class. He has yet to prove it. He has a 46.1 QB rating, and he's put 4 different balls on the ground. For that, I am putting Jimmy Clausen in the doghouse.
All right, next up, we're moving on to a couple receivers. First up, we have Dez Bryant, wide receiver for the Cowboys out of Oklahoma State. Dez Bryant has come off to a pretty good start the first couple weeks. He's coming off a bye this past week, but in the first 3 games, he had 14 receptions for 158 yards. Pretty good. I only think that this bye week is going to help his performance, give him time to gel with Tony Romo. He also has a little bit of injury concern, some stress fracture, but he's played through that. I don't think it's anything to worry about. Definitely going to have to throw Dez Bryant a bone, and the Dallas Cowboys as well.
Next up, we got Mike Williams, the wide receiver that is little to never been heard of until he came out of Syracuse. He's been putting up big numbers at Tampa Bay. He's also got a young quarterback in Josh Freeman to back him up. I think those two are definitely going to progress, or as the season progresses, they're definitely going to gel, get something going, get a lot of chemistry. Look forward to him. I am going to go ahead and throw Mike Williams a bone.
All right, moving on to another couple rookie running backs. Up next on my board, we have C.J. Spiller, rookie running back for the Buffalo Bills out of Clemson. And as much as it hurts to say this, Spiller is definitely this year's Jahvid Best imposter. You know, he just hasn't been cutting it. He's naturally gifted, and the talent is there, no doubt. I don't know if you saw that 95-yard kick return against New England. That was pretty good. But Buffalo is just a mess. They don't have an identity in the offense, and they have Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, so there's no way to predict who's getting points in that offense, if there are any to begin with. I'm going to have to put C.J. Spiller in the doghouse.
Now hear me out before you guys all get mad at me. I'm putting Ryan Matthews in the doghouse, and it's not because of performance. It is only because he's missed 1.5 games. He has averaged 4.2 yards per carry. The only problem I have is that he's putting the ball on the ground. Look forward to to throwing him a bone in the future, but for right now, he's in my doghouse. And with that, we're closing down the Fantasy Fast Break. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the forum.
Welcome back to BS Sports. This is the forum with myself, Christian, Andrew, and Jose, and today we'll be talking about the most pressing topics in sports. Getting right into it, guys. Tate Forcier, his performance against Bowling Green. Does this create any type of controversy for the quarterbacks at Michigan?
Well, you know what? I don't think it really does. I mean, Tate Forcier did go 12 for 12, perfect, 110 yards, and in fact, he set a new Michigan record for quarterback efficiency. But, you know, people kind of look over the fact that before Denard Robinson came out of the game, he was 4 for 4 with 60 yards, 5 rushes for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. The guy's fire. There's no controversy at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much a controversy as much as it's an underutilized weapon in Rich Rodriguez's offense. You know, I think that Tate Forcier personally should have a little bit more snaps to give Denard Robinson the rest he needs. He's a Heisman hopeful, but, I mean, he's not going to get a Heisman if he can't finish the season, and they got Ohio State at the end, you know. Definitely got to use Tate Forcier, take a little bit more of that burden off of Denard Robinson's shoulders.
Guys, if you're Rich Rodriguez, you got to play this correctly. If you handle this poorly, there could be a disaster. Quarterbacks are, they can lose their psyche right away, and if they don't have that confidence, if Denard feels like he's being slighted or oh wow, there's pressure on my back, that might cause his performance to slip, and that's the last thing you want. You don't want. They always say in the league, you can't have 2 quarterbacks. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. October, not only is it football season, but October also means postseason in baseball. Who's going to the World Series and who's going to run away with the title?
Well, you know what? I think it's going to be the Phillies and the Twins. The Phillies' offense is one of the best in baseball. There's no need to argue that. But I think where their real strength is their rotation. The Roy Halladay is probably going to win the Cy Young. Cole Hamels, Roy Oswalt, probably the greatest midseason pickup this year. I don't think you can't compete with that. The Twins, if they get Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau back, I think their offense is going to be the most potent in the American League. And I think they'll make it to the World Series, but you know what? They can't compete against that pitching. They have mediocre pitching. And in the end, I give it to the Phillies, probably in 6 games.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to go with the Giants, as much as I detest that because I'm a Dodger fan personally. But they have a pitching staff that's unparalleled to anybody else in the league. The other people I think that are going to make it in the AL, definitely going to be the Rays. I think they really got a taste of that World Series, Series feel, and they want to get back into it. And I think that the Rays take it probably in 6.
Yeah. Give me 2 teams that have been there, the last couple of times at it. I got the Phillies and I got the Rays going at it. The Rays, everyone was shocked by, they made it to the playoffs. It looks like they're here to stay. And it looks like they understand what it takes to be a winner. I have the Rays going in 6 as well.
All right, and back again to Bulldog football. Hawaii is coming to Bulldog Stadium this week. Can Pat Hill pull this one off?
I think this is his year. I think this is the time that Pat Hill finally overcomes island fever at home. The last time we beat Hawaii was 2004, and that was with Pinniger behind the center. That's 3 quarterbacks ago. But I think with Ryan Colburn behind the center and Robbie Rouse looking to get back in there after being nagged by injuries, I think he will probably have a good game. As long as we can get that running game going, I mean, Brian Colburn and company have no problem picking apart the defense through the air.
Jose?
Yeah. Let's see. There's something in this Pacific Ocean that happens for a team whenever we go to play them or they come to play us. We're counting on the Hawaii having trouble, adjusting, having this jet lag when they come over. Hopefully they can pull it off. Personally, I think that Hawaii offense is too potent. We saw what they've done to other teams already, but hopefully the Bulldogs can pull this one off.
Yeah, well, there's no way that Hawaii should be able to compete. Honestly, I think our team is that good. Fresno State just took the lead in the series, so the series is real close, about 500 overall. But I hate to bring it up, but it was only 2 years ago Hawaii came into the Valley in front of the Red Wave and knocked off the number 22 ranked Bulldogs in overtime. So man, I hate to say it, but anything could happen.
All right, you guys, moving on. AJ Green, receiver for University of Georgia, caught selling his jersey and was suspended for 4 games. Is that punishment too harsh?
Yeah, you know what? This is ridiculous how they can come down. They make all this money. These college schools make all this money from the teams, and a player tries to sell his jersey, which actually has his representation as well on it, and he gets suspended 4 games. I don't know. To me, it's ridiculous to spend that much games. Give him a warning first, something like that. What do you guys think?
Well, you know what? The suspension is too harsh, I think. But you know what? I guarantee you there's a book somewhere. And in the book, it says that if you sell your jersey, you're suspended for 4 games. And he broke the law. And so, you know, rule is a rule. He didn't fight it. He actually confessed, you know, and he served at the time. So, you know, the suspension is too harsh, but you got to know the rules, and he can't break the rules.
I think that the big reason that he was suspended so much is allegedly that the person he sold the jersey to was an agent. And I mean, this hasn't been proven yet, but we've had a lot of problems going on with the agents around the country. I mean, Reggie Bush gave back his Heisman, you know. I think he earned it on the field. I think he should still get to keep it. I don't think he got any initiative out of it. And personally, I believe that the players should make some kind of money off of you know, some sort of jersey sales, because I mean, they're making millions for the university itself. Why not give them a cut of the, you know?
Yeah.
All right, guys, last question. Out of the top 25 during week 6, what matchups are going to be catching your eye?
I have the LSU Tigers going against the Florida Gators. Last year, both teams were undefeated when they played at the Tigers home, and Team Tebow coming back from a concussion, he was able to pull out a 13-3 victory. This year, the Tigers, I think they get their revenge in Gainesville.
I've got USC versus Stanford this
Great
year.
game.
It's going to be a great matchup. Last year, if you guys remember, USC going into Stanford, huge upset, 55-21 over the Trojans. Toby Gerhart rushed for 178 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. Monster performance. You know, but so USC is going to have a chip on their shoulder coming in. And, you know, they know they're not playing for any bowl games, but I think they're going out for revenge. But at the same time, Stanford's for real. And they're led by quarterback Andrew Luck. And, you know, I think it's going to be an explosive, high offensive game, that's for sure.
I have a game that ended in a thriller. It was Michigan State and Michigan, interstate rivalry. Always a great game to watch. Somehow a team always comes back somewhere in the fourth quarter. They'll either take it or they'll fall short, you know. And last year, then starting quarterback Tate Forcier leads them down the field. I think it's like 67 yards, 67 plus, and gets them back in the game, goes into overtime. It's a heartbreaker. They lose. I think Michigan takes it this year.
All right, all 3 games, great games to look forward to. And that concludes our first edition of BS Sports. On behalf of all of us, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.